It's not successful.
No, I'm thinking for like the topic.
Oh, no. It's a great topic. It's a great topic. Because we're all like, we're
all in a funk.
Everybody's in a funk. And it's funny, I was thinking about it. And I can repeat this for the other part, like the future one, but you can see it. You can see it in all of our not our Marcos, but all of our stories. You can see it from when like summer was in, and then it's slowly getting into winter. Like all of our moods have slowly changed.
Yep.
Yes, there's a lot of shit happen, 100%. But this weather,
it's fucking with us.
It's fucking with us.
Yeah. Fucking bitch weather.
It's annoying because like you want to believe that I don't have those things. No,
I don't have seasonal depression. No. Yes, we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. So we
just have it in different, I think the deal is that we just have different levels of it. Like everybody I think gets depressed. It's just, what's your depression?
Right?
Like what is it to you? So.
Okay, we haven't gotten.
Because me and Eric talked about that 2 Fridays ago about his depression versus mine, because like I can see his coming because I've been around him for so long.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have it, but it's way different. It's weird. I was like, that's okay.
Fucking son of a.
What happened?
No, because I was in ours.
Did you send it? You think you might have sent it from a different one?
No, because I was in ours.
I don't think you sent it. Like,
oh my God. I hit send.
That does not say you hit send.
I know. I thought I hit send. Son of a.
Are we recording?
Bitch.
Recording?
Yes, we are.
Okay, that's hilarious. But yeah, we actually kind of mentioned it a little bit in November check-in about how you handle stress and I handle stress differently. So it's the same thing. Our depression pops up differently.
Yep.
It's crazy.
100%. Mine's a thing. It's all
feeling it. Let me lean in.
That's my favorite.
Is that the snowy one? Behind the scenes. This is the fun part, guys. If you don't know, we like to just hang out. It's a lot of fun.
Behind the scenes.
Oh, here we go. Here comes Brenda. Okay, hold on before we admit. Who's doing intro? What are we just going to discuss that with her?
Yeah.
Doing okay. Brenda. It's Brenda.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm going to turn her down.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's going to turn your levels down just a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. I got a microphone. I can turn my mic down a little bit too.
Oh, no, you're totally fine. We can turn it down over here. So we just want to make sure that we're all good. And then she's going to press record as soon as we're ready to do our intro.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll kind of, we'll do our intro, kind of discuss what we're going to talk to you about a little bit today.
Okay.
And then we'll bring you in. So we'll just do our quick little thing in the beginning to start. And it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, you guys too. It's wonderful.
Thank you for being on. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me. I'm looking forward to ours with you guys too.
Yes, that's going to be so fun. We love interacting with everybody. I got to turn off my.
Brenda, can we have you turn down a little bit?
Oh, turn down your
down?
mic just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Oh yeah. Is that better?
And then did we just mute her? Can you
test?
Yeah, I can't hear her now. I think you actually muted her.
Did I mute you?
Yeah.
Okay, try now.
Test.
Oh,
test,
there we go.
Oh, so much better.
That's
Perfect.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. We're still figuring stuff out.
How long have you guys been doing your podcast? Is it new?
Since April.
Yeah.
So like functioning recording since April.
Yeah, we dropped our first episode April 5th. Yeah.
So
That's
but our
cool.
producer pieced out a month ago. So We are a 2-woman show.
Yeah.
100%. We do
Yep.
everything.
Women owned.
So that's why I'll check mics. It's okay.
Exactly. That's why we're like, we're slowly figuring all of this recording stuff out because neither of us know anything really about this. Like,
I know how to talk.
Yep, we both know how to talk.
No, I know how to do like a
Hey, that is the 100% most important thing ever.
right.
Yes.
You have to be able to communicate. It's a huge deal.
Are you guys only recording sound or is it picture too?
It's picture too.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
Zoom recording your video. Is that okay to release to our patrons?
I might bring my camera back just a little bit then. There.
Okay. But is that okay to release you on our patrons, like to have the video up?
Oh yeah, I have no
Awesome.
problem with it at all.
Okay, perfect. I don't know. We haven't came across anybody that has, but I don't know.
You never know.
Never
Some
know.
people are kind of weird about it.
What are you doing over there?
Sorry, I'm posting on Instagram that we're recording with you.
Oh, cool.
So I'm tagging you in it, and then Procare, of course.
Awesome.
So
I'm really excited too. I've been trying to do a couple Instagram lives and I'm just struggling with it. I haven't figured it out yet.
we love our lives.
Yeah, what
They're
do you need
so
help with?
fun.
What do you need help with? What can we do for your life?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I couldn't. We tried to do them twice, and we thought we were recording the whole time, and I wasn't recording.
Oh, no.
So Instagram won't let you screen grab them. So you actually will have to have a actual separate recording.
So you have to you have to go into Instagram, go over to the live section, and then hit the
screen record, right? Like
no,
Can
it's
she
like
do that?
it's a little button.
little button.
Yep. Right in the middle. And then as soon as you hit that, then it'll like check your connection and then it'll start recording.
Oh, something I didn't do right. I have no idea.
We always have that fear, like at the end of our live, that we're not going to be able to save it.
We're like, oh, did it do it? Did it do it?
Yep. We're like, please.
If we do it weekly, we still get nervous. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes we do lives twice a week, depending on what we're
Lately.
doing. So yeah, we just did a baking one last night. It was so
I
fun.
saw part of that. That was awesome.
It was so fun. And the brownies and the Muddy Buddies were so delicious.
They're a hit in both
You
houses.
guys got to try them?
Oh yeah.
We baked with her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
saw, it looked like, I just saw the very beginning and it was where you were filming her and then you guys were talking to her. So I didn't know you guys were all together.
Oh, so she's what state is she in?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, she's Kansas City, right? Or is she Texas?
Texas.
Okay.
So she's in Texas. And so she joined our live and then she baked at the same time we baked.
Yeah.
So
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
So she showed us how to bake these two items. So it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
We had a great time.
So
We just love interacting with people.
that'll be fun when we do the live for Procare.
Yes.
So
Excited because we have yours. And then we're also there's a dream event that Dr. Dovek is doing.
the weight loss extravaganza.
Weight loss extravaganza. It's called the Dream Event. And we're doing that next week.
Next week.
So that's going to be fun too.
These lives are great.
Lots of good stuff coming. So where are you guys from?
Oregon.
We're in Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's going to be, there's a lot coming out. We're really excited.
Yeah. We got much more. So
Yes.
want to get started?
Yes, definitely.
right.
Okay. So we're just going to do our little intro and then we'll bring you in.
You gotta push
Okay.
the button.
Oh, I got to push record.
She's gotta hit the button. And we're good.
We are live.
Okay. Can I have you talk real quick before we go?
Test.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So
You or me?
me went last time.
Okay. Perfect.
So although I realize
It
when
doesn't
we
really
put
matter.
the season together, it might not go back and forth.
Yep.
So
That's
we'll
fine.
see what happens.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome back, LSLP family. We are listening to our Sleep Life podcast. This is Mel,
And I'm Kelly.
and we have an awesome guest today.
Yes, we do.
So we were super excited because one of the members from Procare reached out to us and wanted to be on the podcast because they have a bunch of bariatric items to use.
Yes. So
And
vitamins.
Vitamins.
Yes.
And she's also a bariatric patient.
Yes.
So how cool is that?
Yeah, we're so excited. So welcome Brenda onto the show. Thank you for
hi to
coming in,
everyone.
Brenda.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, so excited. So kind of tell us a little bit about your journey if you can.
Sure. So, on a personal level or with Procare?
Yeah, let's start with personal and then we can kind of move into professional.
Yeah. So, because like I told the listeners that you are a gastric sleeve patient, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, how long ago did you get that surgery?
My surgery was actually in 2012. So, what kind of happened, conspired, is I had been struggling with my weight for years, probably since my teenage years. And I started working for a bariatric surgery weight loss program. I'm a nurse and I was a bariatric surgery coordinator.
Oh.
And so that was back in 2012 is when I started that role. And then started seeing like all these patients come through that were having such success. And it just kind of really inspired me because honestly, if I would have never worked for that program, I probably would have never been brave enough, I guess, to have surgery. I know that sounds silly, but my
Not at all.
experiences before that program were just literally, I worked in emergency medicine for about 20 years. And so I really had no experience with bariatric surgery, but seeing these people come through in our first year, our program was new. So our first year, probably about 90% of our patients were actually employees of the hospital that I worked for. So they were colleagues as well, which was really interesting. Yes. And so, I mean, my main reason for having surgery is because I had just like, I mean, I probably sound like a broken record because this is the story like that I would hear over and over. But, I struggled with my weight for years and years and years, tried all these different diets, tried all these different things, and nothing really ever seemed to really stick. Like I would lose little weight and then getting back.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, weight loss surgery just seemed like something that seemed more permanent. And so that's kind of the inspiration from all these other people who'd had surgery is kind of what drew me in.
Love
That's
it.
awesome.
Love it. Well, and it's not a broken record because everybody's journey is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Reasons why are all a little bit different. And I mean, I feel like that reasoning kind of brings us together because we've all felt like that. That's the reason why most of us have had surgeries because we've battled with our weight our entire life. Or, like you said, I can totally relate to the dieting because I don't remember when a time that I didn't say, oh, I need to lose 10 pounds or, oh, I'm going to do Weight Watchers or I'm going to start eating low carb or whatever. And I would lose a little bit of weight and then gain it all back plus more. So, and then it slowly climbs from there.
Oh yeah. So everything's relatable. So like, it's a great story to hear that you're a nurse and you got to see all these people and see the success, and now you can finally do it yourself. So you said that you were a nurse for 20 years before you became one for bariatric patients. Is that what I understood?
I worked in the medical field. I worked like in the emergency room. I worked as a secretary, then a tech, and then a nurse. And so I had kind of a mixture of those. I also worked in quality management for several years. I'm 51, so I've had a lot of different experiences. The bariatric surgery program has just been within the last, like I said, 2012 was my first introduction to weight loss surgery and to all of this. So
Wow, that's amazing.
I've learned a lot throughout that period of time.
And I have to say, you do not look 51.
Yeah, I would have never guessed.
When you said that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like you, not in the least. I would not have guessed 51 at all. So you look fantastic.
Thank you. I mean, as you guys know, it's like people get scared because they think after they have weight loss surgery, they're going to look unhealthy.
Right. I was scared of that.
That is not necessarily true at all. I mean, if you take care of yourself and you do all the right things, it really actually, for the most part, can make you look younger. So
yes.
Yeah, I think everybody looks younger after they lose weight. Like if they follow like all of the things you're supposed to do.
You're drinking your water, you're getting your protein in, taking your vitamins. I mean, those 3 things
do so much for your skin.
Yeah.
Like so much for your skin.
My skin is so much clearer.
Yeah.
Now. And I think that helps a lot. Yours is too.
So 100%. I used to have like this, like a ring kind of around my mouth. It was like it's a weird tent.
Yeah.
And once I had surgery and just was drinking so much water and protein, like it went away immediately.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
You
can see it in photos. You can see the little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't wear makeup, so it was just like, there it is. Like that's just my face. 100%.
That's just my face. So what are your stats? So what was your highest weight? When was your surgery? Tell us all of that.
Sure.
Those
so
numbers.
So my surgery was in 2013. It was a year after I started in that program, working in that program, and my BMI was 35. So it wasn't like super off the charts. In fact, that was kind of a struggle point for me because I even had some people say, well, you really don't need surgery. But honestly, to me, sometimes I don't think if it matters if you are 5 pounds overweight or if you're 100, because it's all about how you feel as a person. So my beginning weight was around 225.
Okay.
I lost down that first year, I think, to probably, I'm going to say 160. And then that next year, I maybe lost a little bit more. Maybe, I think my lowest weight after surgery was 145. I'm 5'7".
Nice.
And right now I'm probably about 170 to 180. So I've gained a little bit back. But I do feel, I feel healthy.
Right.
Would I like to lose a little bit more weight? Probably. I've been stable at this weight for probably maybe 3 years, something like that.
Okay. That's
so the
great.
first couple of years, it was really, I had really knocked off the weight, and then I kind of stabilized out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that we have a lot in common because I'm sitting at this weight. My first drop to 179, I was that for almost 3 years. And this last weight, I gained like 10, 15 pounds. So I'm like sitting at 192 for the last 2 years now.
Yeah.
So you just kind of like, oh, your body just wants to hang out here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think your body kind of finds this happy zone.
It does.
And I dropped down to 141. And now I'm like 160 or no, 150.
I was like, wait, what?
No, 150. And I'm like, I'm happier in like, now that I've gained that extra 10, like, I feel like I look healthier.
Yeah. Is that common? Like, does everybody pretty much gain about 10 pounds afterwards?
I would say very common. Probably most people that first year, they have the most significant weight loss, which that's very common that first year. The second year, sometimes you'll have some people that'll lose a little bit more, if they're really focused on, a certain goal or getting a certain place. But after that second year, weight usually slows down, and it's pretty common for people to kind of stabilize, maybe gain a little bit and then stabilize out and then keep that weight for a period of time. So it's kind of like you said, your happy place, whatever, like I would like to lose more, but am I happy with where I am? I'm pretty happy. I feel really healthy, and I feel much better than I did, whenever I was at my higher weight. So
that's great
too. It's always like, how do you feel in your clothes? That's like always a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Like if they feel good and I feel like I look good and like that confidence is still there, then I'm like, then why do I care that I'm sitting at 10 pounds gained for the last 2 years?
Well, we always preach like it's not all about the numbers. Like it's not. It's more about how you feel in your clothes and how you feel like in your own body. Yeah. And sometimes that's 140, and sometimes that's 150, and one time it's all personal, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and you're absolutely right, because some people, sometimes people will be 200, they'll want to get below 200 pounds, and that's like their overall goal, and they're super happy with that. To me, deep down, I think it's about just loving yourself, because really when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter if you're 300 pounds or 110 pounds. If you don't love yourself and you're like unhappy with yourself, it doesn't matter. Like it does not matter.
100%. I would completely agree with that. That is exactly what we kind of preach, is like everybody's different and the level of happiness is all going to be different. For, if you measure 100 people, they're all going to be different.
Oh,
their level of
100%.
happiness and their rate of happiness. So what was your pre-op experience like? Do you remember? I know it was a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, from one standpoint, preparing for surgery was a little scary because I can remember thinking, I don't know if my insurance is going to cover this, because it was so close with insurance requirements and my BMI. And I just kind of prayed about it. And I thought, you know what, if it happens, then it's meant to happen. If it doesn't happen, then it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just not meant to happen, and the doors are going to close, and it's just not going to work. But it did work for me. I think the pre-op diet was one of the hardest things because, you have this large stomach still, and you have these eating habits, these patterns. You don't have the reinforcement of the surgery to keep you intact.
Mm-hmm.
So that first week before surgery, I think I did, I think our diets at that time were 10-day diet, maybe liquid diet. And so that was hard. That was probably harder than the post-op diet, I think.
I would agree with that completely.
That would have to be.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Kelly had a 2 week.
I had 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was 14 days and the pre-op was hard. Post-op, like you said, it was hard, but it wasn't as hard as
because the physicality part of
it.
Like you can't do it and you're in pain. So it's like, this is normal. After surgery, you can't normally even eat anyway for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like, well, yeah, that's not a big deal. But.
Yeah. Did you have any therapy? Did you do nutritionist appointments? I know you worked in the bariatric clinic, but
how did that work for you?
Yeah,
was it any different for you?
Well, it's kind of interesting. So like for insurance requirements, you're still required to do almost all the same things, and I actually taught all the classes.
Oh, wow.
Classes. The nutrition classes, we did have a nutritionist that we worked together, and we designed all the education and all that. So I mean, I kind of already knew what I was supposed to do, doing it and knowing it. Sometimes it's two different things, but I mean, I was pretty good. I wasn't a real rebel or anything, but the psychologist, I was kind of surprised. The psychologist that worked with our program, he was a hospital employee as well. And he's just like, I think you're okay. I don't think we need to do all this. So I was kind of, I guess, fortunate in that. I mean, I didn't have to undergo that whole piece, but I did have to I think I had to at least talk to him, because the insurance requirements, they just require, you have to see a nutritionist, you have to see a surgeon. Mm-hmm. The surgeon, I mean, I worked with every day. So talk about sometimes being a little, uncomfortable, but you know what? It is what it is. You just, not a lot of humility. You just gotta
do what you have to do.
Yeah. And they're wearing a different hat at that point. It's like, hey, the friend hat off, and now we're putting on the doctor hat.
Yep.
Absolutely. And in surgery, everything, like, I don't know if you guys don't know this, probably because unless you've have you ever been in a surgery suite before?
No.
Well, when you go into surgery.
Well, maybe. I mean, I've had surgery before, but I don't know what a surgery suite is.
Yeah.
Explain.
The surgery staff, they, in pre-op or in PAT, pre-admission testing, and in the pre-op area where you go the morning of surgery, they get you all ready and everything. You get in a gown.
Oh, yeah.
Got it. And then when you get into the surgery room, they kind of prep you for surgery. So that means that they drape your whole body and all of that. So the only piece really uncovered that the surgeon sees is kind of below your breast, down to like where your pubic bone is, that a whole area, because your surgery is mostly a belly button and above. So there's not a whole lot uncovered.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes people are embarrassed about that. So there's a lot of privacy. It's not, especially like being in a field where you work with everybody that's doing your surgery.
Yeah. That would kind of be nerve-wracking. Like,
everybody's very professional.
Well, yeah, I think you would have to be. And I think it's good to know for people that are interested in like, how uncovered am I? Because
Yeah.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
out. So
Yeah,
you don't know.
You have no idea what they're doing or why
Yeah.
they're doing it. Because so side story, we do lots of those on
We
here.
love side stories.
I do. Yeah, that's what this is about.
So when I was like 12 years ago, I have a spiral fracture from knee down. And when they did the surgery,
12 years ago?
yeah, it's been 12 years.
Jeez, that's crazy.
They do the whole like the gown and whatever. So like I still had to get up on the table and everything. They just helped me because I have a broken leg. But they draped me and I did not take off my underwear.
Which you're supposed to.
Because I asked if I was gonna have to have a catheter, and he's like, well, depends. Like this should be like an hour surgery, so really you probably not. But if we need to, we'll put one in. So I was like, okay. Well, I was in for 5 hours. My leg wouldn't attach to the rod correctly. So because I have a titanium rod for knee down and 5 screws in my ankle and 2 screws in my knee. So
Wow.
yeah. And when I went back to get my stitches out, the lady's like, oh, I remember you. She's a nurse in the surgery room. I have no idea who she is. I'm like, I have no idea. She's like, oh, honey, you wouldn't because your leg wouldn't attach. And we just kept like pulling it out and banging it back in. And I was like, oh my God.
That's so
Those are kind
funny.
of things you don't necessarily know.
Right?
Right? You're like, I don't want to
But
know that.
The funny part of the story is that I woke up and all the anesthesia and everything. And I was freaking out because I know where my underwear was. Because I was like, why is my underwear gone? What?
Kind of like a bad party night, huh?
Yeah, I was like, freaking, I was like, hey, where's my underwear? And he just like couldn't understand me because I guess I was like so doped up. I wasn't even like really making
sense.
words. But that's what I was nervous about because they didn't tell me that I needed to take them off. So I never took them off. So that means someone was down there and had to cut them off of me.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, you don't think about those things.
Well,
until
yeah,
after the fact.
she's Melody. That was her first experience with surgery.
Yeah. 100%.
So I've been through surgery a lot. I've had 3 sinus surgeries and I've had my gallbladder taken out and I've been under anesthesia like
That's
a
true.
lot.
That's true. You have.
I have to say, anesthesia sleep is the best sleep ever.
Oh my God.
Like it is because they hook you up and they give you the anesthesia. You don't remember falling asleep and then you're just like awake and refreshed.
That's true.
Like I always tell everybody, I'm like, oh, I love anesthesia. They're like, what? I'm like, it's not like I'm not gonna like fake injuries to go get it, but I love anesthesia. Like it makes me sleep and like nothing. It's just nothing for a couple hours.
I love it.
So
back to you
yes.
and you getting your surgery. So that's true. They only put that drape on. So they're only seeing your belly button from the,
like
right
pubic
here.
bone. Yeah. It's just the center of you.
Yeah. So was
Which makes
yours
sense.
like a typical surgery? Everything went fine or was there any hiccups or how did it go?
Everything actually went really smooth. I think I maybe have, I don't even know if I can, I think I maybe have 4 small incisions, 2 up high, 2 on each side of my belly button, 1 in my belly button area.
Oh, okay.
They're really small. In fact, I don't even know if I could find them right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. I was thinking about where's mine. I'm like, I know where like 1 is for sure.
Well, I know my surgeon, when she does the belly button one, she actually goes in a little further
inside.
Yeah. So that it's not as noticeable. Because I was freaking out when I woke up because I was like, I just remembered this because I was like, what's going on with my belly button? Like, because I had my gallbladder taken out and I had completely different incisions.
Oh yeah.
And so, we had talked about her using the same incisions so that I didn't have 10 scars.
Right.
And I remember like freaking out and I'm like, why is my belly button cut open? Like, I don't understand. And she's like, so when she came back in, I was like,
you're like, we had this discussion about
yeah. And she was like, oh no, I just do that so that it doesn't show as much. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. I wish everybody did that.
Yeah. So that sounds like you had, simple incisions. Was there any pain for you?
I'm a wimp. I did fine. But I did take my pain medication. Like they give you, our doctors always gave a prescription for Lorcet for that week after. And so I did utilize that. I mean,
Okay.
it wasn't like I was hurting terribly, but I would I would I would take that as needed for pain. But other than that, I mean, really,
Someone's in
hold
there.
on one second.
You're
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm good.
And
Thanks.
we'll
So
take a break.
my son, I'm actually at his house because my
Oh.
house, I live way out in the country, so I have to travel in town to get Wi-Fi signal. But
Oh,
yeah, so I
okay.
mean, like seriously, I would encourage. I also worked up on a surgery floor for a year and took care of surgery patients. That was in '94, and one of the biggest things that I remembered from that experience of being a nurse taking care of patients after surgery is, those pain medications, what they do is they help you kind of relax. And I feel like it speeds the healing process because you
Mhm.
rest better, you're able to get up and walk, you can
Mhm.
breathe deeper, because all of those things are super important. And
Mhm.
so for me, I made sure I was up walking right away. I mean, I don't know if you guys, most surgeons are like, get up and walk. They want you walking that day usually.
Yeah, she was. I
Yeah.
was not, but I'm trying to
No?
think like,
I was up walking like an hour after surgery.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I was in my room, I was
Oh.
like, okay, can I walk? Can I walk? Can I walk? Because I had such bad chest, like the gas pains.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody that I
That's
had talked to, they were like, no, you need to walk, 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 because that's the only thing that's going to help work it out of your system.
mm,
And so I was like, okay, can we walk? Can we walk? Can we walk? And they're like, well, let's get you like settled. And I was like, but it hurts and I want to walk. And they're like, well, I guess if your husband walks with you, it's totally fine. Cause I think their biggest thing was like you passing out.
yeah.
falling or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That would be
Yeah.
a little bit dangerous. Well, and truly, that is, you're right though. Probably one of the biggest, some of the biggest complications after surgery, and I wouldn't even say it's a complication, it's just very painful, is the gas pain. If not all that gas is released from your abdomen. And most people think it's gas, like you get rid of through your intestinal tract, but it's
Yeah.
not. You just have to walk and it has to be reabsorbed through the skin and released. I mean, it's very uncomfortable if
Oh,
that
we should talk
happens.
about that more. Is there like a term for that?
You mean the gas releasing that and that type
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Um, it's just from the CO2, the gases that they inflate your abdomen with. I mean, you probably know this, but when they put those laparoscopic tools in your abdomen,
Okay.
they, I would say, blow it up, kind of like a balloon.
I
Make
like
it
it.
much larger so that they can see where they're going with the cameras. And so that's what the gas is
Oh,
for.
I
And
didn't
so
know
before they stitch you up or whatever, they actually put their hands on your abdomen and they kind of push out most of that air. And they try to release most of it through those incisions
that. Oh,
before they
wow.
close.
Huh.
How crazy. I mean, I didn't really have any gas pains though.
Yeah.
So whoever was pushing on me did a really good
Did a
job.
very good job. With me, not so much.
Yeah, you had tons of gas pain.
Yeah. I mean, and it stuck around for like a week.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it was a
yeah.
while.
It was
And
sharp,
it moved.
uncomfortable.
Well, and it moves into your shoulders and stuff like that. And so that's super uncomfortable. But I think it also motivated me to be moving. So because I knew that was the only way I was going to get rid of it was by walking.
Because yeah, I didn't have pain there. And then like I only walked when they told me to. So it wasn't like a let's do this. Like she's like, okay, walk a couple times, whatever.
Yeah.
Because like my side really hurt from them when they move the stomach or the liver part or whatever.
The liver.
My incision's longer than yours.
Yes.
And so like that really hurt and I felt bruised inside.
Your
Like,
incision. Oh, in your
Mhm.
abdomen, you actually felt uncomfortable?
yeah.
Yes. Well, and she only did a 24-hour liquid
Fasting.
diet.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if your liver just isn't shrunk enough.
I don't know. She said I didn't have a fatty liver, but
Well, fatty liver is different than.
no, I thought are they the same? Like the fatty liver, that's when it's big, right?
I guess a fatty liver would be, I guess, have additional size. The size is what the liquid diet's for, to make your
Mhm.
liver kind of shrink
Okay.
up so that it's not so big. Because kind of what they do, and you probably know this too, but your liver
No.
kind of,
We want the professional to tell
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Your liver kind of sits like here, and then
Yeah.
what they go in and they take your liver, they pull it up with like stitches, suture it up like this to work on your stomach like that.
Oh my God.
So it's
That's
kind of
cool.
like they're like elevating you're elevating it up so you can get in there and work on it. So if you can't, like if your liver is really enlarged and they can't really get under it and pull it up to work on the stomach, it makes it really hard to visualize what they're doing. And we actually had a couple patients, probably out of several thousand, so it's very low number, but they got in there and the liver was too large, so they couldn't do what they needed to do. So they had to stop the surgery, not do it, and then put the patient had to lose more weight and then do a whole nother liquid diet.
That poor patient, that
Well,
had to be a mind fuck
right?
for them.
Well,
Oh my
and
God.
we just got a message a couple days ago from a person that's in pre-op right now, and she was asking if she really wanted steak, and she's on a liquid diet, and she's like, is it okay if I like have steak? And I'm like, well, first off, I'm not a doctor, so ask your surgeon or your nutritionist. But I was like, but if it was me, I wouldn't risk it, because I was like, they can stop your surgery or not do your surgery if they can't see.
Yeah.
So why put yourself through that when you can just not have the steak?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's hard.
I get it.
Because I didn't have to do that 2-week diet. I just did
Mhm.
24 hours. So I'm like, I feel for you guys. Like, I don't know if I could have. I know I could have, but that would have been real fucking tough.
Yeah.
100%.
I think that's a motivator, just knowing that it could delay your surgery or change it or whatever. I know to me, I mean, steak is pure protein. So,
Yes.
I mean, really and truly, but it's not liquid. So I guess processing that might be a little different. Our surgeons in the beginning, like when we first started our program, would say like 100% liquid diet for that period of time. And then they kind of started having them do like liquids and then one meal that was a really lean protein along with a salad.
Oh wow.
But every program is different.
Yes.
And I'm sure at least that 24 hours before, it's probably really important that there's nothing really solid in your stomach, because they're doing
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, because my surgeon, because we interviewed her for the podcast, and she said that she doesn't care. She's like, I'll still do it. Like with the 24-hour is what she only does. She's like, I'm humane is what she calls it.
Yes. She said, I'm humane. I don't want to put my patients through that. And I was like, yeah, but I feel like you said, it sets you up for success, because you are already committing yourself to this 2-week or 1-week liquid diet.
Right.
And you're like, I'm committed to what I'm doing. I'm committed to my program. And so this is what we're doing.
I guess it does show you like your character of like, are you all in or not?
Yes.
That will show you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
that's true. And I kind of think, I know there's some programs that make people lose weight before they have surgery. Our program that I work for did not, but I mean, did you guys have to experience that at all? Have to try to
I didn't have to. Yeah. And you didn't either. No. So I just went in, they weighed me and told me my BMI and said that I couldn't gain weight. That was the only stipulation, is I could not gain while I was in the program.
Yeah.
And I didn't really lose weight until my liquid diet. And then I lost 15 pounds on that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My body was like, oh, we like this. Like,
yeah, I need to do another couple days, I think, about the liquid diet. I think we should just start doing that once a month. Just like 2 days.
Yeah.
Just to clean it out.
Just to clear it out, clear out the system.
Every detox kind of thing.
Yeah. How do you, you work for a bariatric center. So how does your office feel about patients going back on liquid diets for like a couple days? Like, is it a good thing, bad thing?
Yeah. Well, and I don't work for them right now because, like I said, the program that I work for, after this with this whole COVID thing and just collaboration of a whole lot of different things, ended up closing, which was really sad. That was the beginning of this year. So, but it was fortunate too, because I'm now working full time for Procare Health, the vitamin company. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how that kind of transpired. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
But, your question though was what was it?
The liquid diet, is it a good thing, bad thing? I know everybody kind of has
Oh,
like a different view. So like after
yeah.
you have surgery, like to go back, put yourself back on a liquid diet for like 2 or 3 days, like what's your viewpoint on that?
I mean, honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay.
It's more temporary. So, I mean, if it helps kind of like give you a little boost, I mean, that could be helpful. But like long term, is it something that you're going to want to do every day? Probably
No.
not.
Okay.
Some dietitians, I've even heard them say, once you're able to start eating like maintenance level, that they
Mhm.
want you to be eating real foods and that type of thing. So I
Mhm.
kind of think, I mean, my own viewpoint, I think each his own, like whatever
Okay.
whatever you need for yourself, um, to keep you happy and healthy. Sometimes those little protein shakes and things like that can be super helpful because they're so convenient and they're so easy, and um, they keep you on point because it's
Yeah.
easy, and just like protein bars and things like that, to me they're convenience, and it's
Yes.
kind of like a meal in one. They have they have their vitamins in them and they have everything. So I don't think I mean, personally, I don't think there's anything wrong. I know the program I work for, they did not really encourage it just because it's not a lifelong thing. You like
Mhm.
really and truly like making lifelong changes is what's important. But if you need it for yourself to make a little boost and to try to help you keep on track, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And obviously it can help you, just like we had a program at our hospital called HMR program, which was like a structured weight loss management program, non-surgical,
Okay.
Oh,
not surgical. And they came in like little meals, something like Jenny Craig or something like
Oh,
that, where you get like the little meals. To me, those kind of things are just there to help keep you feeling like your portion control's good and
yeah.
that
mhm.
structured. Some people like that structure. I'm definitely not a person that likes a whole lot of structure because I'll try to fight it every the way. But for everybody's they're different. I mean, my sister
Mhm.
Connie, she's quite a bit thinner than I am even now. She went on the non-surgical weight loss program whenever I went on the surgical, and she did fine through that. She loved it. Like she liked the structure. She liked having, this and
Um,
this. Um,
Yeah, I feed off of
Everybody's
that.
different. I
Like,
mean, and if it works for you, like if you decided to do it and like once a month, have a couple shakes, have a couple days where it kind of like boosts, and I think it gives you a little bit of momentum to kind of
mhm.
yeah.
get
Mhm.
going. It can.
Well, I
So
think it helps building that habit and the routine back. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm taking control. It's almost like a control thing.
It is I think it for Melanie, it's definitely a control.
Yeah, because I love structure. I need structure.
Mhm.
I need to be told what to do. And it's hard because I'm normally the one that tells everybody what to do. And so like I have to like be the one to tell myself. And sometimes it's hard. And so like if I can find a niche where like this is just what I do, like the first and second of every month, I just have
Mhm.
liquid, I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Like that's not hurting anyone.
Yeah,
So and
no.
it's like it cleans me out. I feel a little better.
I
Like
just wasn't sure if there was something like medically like a reason why we shouldn't do that.
shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think if you're making poor choices with your liquid diet, also would be a thing. Like if they're just having broth with no protein,
yes.
then I think that's
Yes.
also like it's always about making that decision and making the right decision.
Well, I think it's always a decision of protein, no protein.
Yeah, it always is.
Like everything that you eat is that kind of balance.
Mhm.
Because if you're eating your protein, you're going to be fine.
Well, and we can make it that simple. Like you can make it that easy for yourself.
Protein or no
Yeah,
protein.
because you don't have to be like, what do I need to make for dinner and all these things that need to go
Mhm.
with it. Just be like, what's your protein?
I mean, half the time, that's all I eat.
That's all you're gonna end up eating anyway, most of the time.
I mean, I don't know about you. I mean,
She's 8 years post.
yeah, you're 8 years. I'm 19 months now.
Yeah, and I'm 5.5.
And you're 5.5.
Yeah.
So, and I still find nights where I'm just like, I'll just have chicken, like just the chicken.
Yeah,
I don't need anything else.
I'll eat just a steak. That's it.
Yeah. What about you, Brenda?
nighttime's probably my hardest.
Yep.
I would love to be able to do that. Usually I can do pretty good throughout the whole day. And then at nighttime, I always seem like I want a bigger meal for some reason. But
Okay.
I think it's our patterns that we train ourselves into,
Yeah.
because a lot of times, you're right though, a lot of times I'm not hungry for anything but probably literally protein. And I think
Mm.
I was listening to something this morning that I found really interesting too. It's like if you can line yourself up to just really feeling good about what you're eating, like being aligned with that,
Mm-hmm.
and then eat, regardless of what you would eat, it wouldn't matter because your body would know how to handle it and your metabolism would adjust, because our bodies are really miraculous anyways. And I think that's so interesting because a lot of what we do when we're eating, we focus so much on our guilt and shame, all those things that you're
Yeah.
like, oh, should I eat this or should I not eat this? And
Mm-hmm.
anyways, we get tied up all in that. So I think that's why I think everybody their own, what works for one person may not work for another. And what, I hope that makes sense.
No,
No,
it
that's
does.
totally like eating with intention,
Yeah.
I think is
Yeah.
what I
I
got.
think
Like,
that's why when people pray over their food or have some words of thankfulness and kind of graciousness, they're not worrying about what they're eating. They're just happy that they have food and they're feeling good about what the choice that they're making.
mhm.
Well, I think that's a good way to go about it for like the future, like pre-op people like that are listening. Like think about that. Like you still are gonna have a connection with your food.
Mm.
And a lot of it normally is emotional, like she's saying, like guilt and shame and all these
Yeah.
things. Well, let's have a different type of connection with our food.
Being like, I'm eating this.
Let's be happy. So if you look at the food and you're happy with it, then eat it and that's fine. But if you don't, like if you feel those shameful
The
or
shame or guilt.
then that obviously don't eat that. That's what I took out of it.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that's why people that first year lose so much weight too, because their resistance is way down. You trust in the process. You trust that things are going to happen. You know that everything is just the weight's going to fall away. And when your resistance is down, your stress is down, you just kind of trust in the process. And I think your body just goes
But it
crazy.
makes it easy. You literally make it super simple.
Yes.
Because I think so my brother did the carnivore diet, just meat for a month. And he was trying to get me to do it because I was like, I just needed like a boost because I've been sitting at this same weight for so long. And
which she focuses on that a lot.
I do. That's my thing, man.
That's her focus.
Yeah, it's frustrating. That's how I'm frustrated because it'll never go away.
Nope.
But he wanted me to eat meat and I could only handle it for like a couple of days because like in my brain, I'm like, I know veggies are good for me. There's no reason not to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm like, I can have fruit. This isn't going to hurt me. So this is so hard to just stick to the carnivore diet. So I'm like, these things aren't going to hurt me. Why do I care?
Right.
That automatically like subside.
Well, and that was my question when Melanie was telling me about her brother's, the carnivore diet. I was like, I don't understand because vegetables aren't bad for you.
Yeah, you can have as many as you want.
Yeah. And like fruits, obviously you don't want to just eat fruits, but fruits are going to be fine for you if you're choosing fruit over ice cream.
Right.
So that's the thing that I didn't understand. I'm like, there's food out there that is totally fine for you to eat.
Totally. And I think it's because we've gone through this process of like, it's been taken away of the choice. It's just super easy of just like, you have to have your protein and then you get to have a little bit of veggies.
Yep.
And that was like that for a long time. And so you're like, why would I not have that? Like my doctor, my surgeon that went to school forever.
Yes.
Has told me to do this and it works. So I think I'm going to go with that one.
Versus some random person that came up with a carnivore diet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my little rant on that.
So I want to get into how you started with Procare.
Yeah. How did this all happen?
Oh yeah.
And what are they exactly for our followers to know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Procare Health is a bariatric surgery vitamin company.
I love it.
And yes, and they sell what they're known for is they had created the very first bariatric surgery multivitamin that was a 1 a day. So now there's other companies that's created those, but they're also known for their price points because they're probably one of the very least, if not the least expensive out there on the market. and they follow all they call them ASMBS, the American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery guidelines. All of the
Didn't know that
they-
existed.
Yeah. Nope. Had no clue.
no?
Yeah. No, we are learning all sorts of stuff today.
I
All
love
kinds
it.
of good stuff.
Yeah.
They follow so bariatric surgery. This is another fun little point is bariatric surgery vitamins. Like regardless, if a company wants to sell them to patients don't know all that, but programs do. And if they're gonna refer vitamins, they're going to make sure that they meet those guidelines, the American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery. So as those guidelines change, which they changed maybe 2 or 3 times while I was in my role, the vitamin companies change and tweak their vitamins so that the patients who have bariatric surgery are getting the amounts that they need. So a bariatric surgery vitamin is actually formulated for 200% of the recommended daily allowance instead of 100%. So it's different from taking normal vitamins over the counter. So how I kind of learned, that kind of got off track a little bit, but how I learned about Procare Health is whenever I first started working for this bariatric surgery program, the surgeon that I work for, Dr. LeGrand was his name, and he was familiar with Procare Health because the company that he worked for in St. Louis had sold their vitamins. Procare Health is actually out of St. Louis, Missouri. So formulated, the vitamin was kind of formulated alongside with a bariatric surgeon and a dietitian. They all kind of came together and they made this vitamin. And so long story short, the doctor I work for knew about them. They started coming to our clinic and teaching us about their vitamin products. And then we started selling their vitamins in our clinic. Like patients would come and buy them. And then what happened is the owner of the company, Nick, it's a small company. He came several times and did support groups for me. And then kind of got to know them really well. And then the last 2 years, because I was so familiar with their products because we sold a lot of them. He asked me to come and travel with them throughout the US and do vendor events. So I went to about 10 or 15 different vendor events over the last 2 years with him. Like, you know how they have these big obesity conferences where you go and they have vendors for every kind of everything, like
No, I didn't know that. Like
surgery equipment, like the main people that would come to these was bariatric surgeons, dietitians.
is that open to
Wow.
the public to go to?
We did have some they were called end user shows, which were just bariatric patients, but most of these big programs, I mean, there would be like thousands of people that would come to these conferences, and you had all kinds of booths, like you do like at a health fair or something like that.
Yeah.
This is all just bariatric surgery. So
That's
I
awesome.
went to
I love it.
those kind of events with them and got to meet all these different vendors.
Yeah.
And actually, that might even be something when we start getting geared back up and going, that might be something you ladies might be interested in kind of checking out.
100%.
Yeah.
Go into those events. You get to network with so many people. Anyways, I got to work with them the last 2 years. And then when my job was, the program
Was closing.
just kind of, unfortunately, when it was closing, makes me so sad. Anyways, Nick, I reached out to him and just asked him, if he was interested in. So over a period of a couple months, we kind of talked back and forth. And then finally I just decided, he just made a job for me. Literally. He's like, he doesn't have sales reps. Most bariatric surgery vitamin companies have sales reps. Because that's how they keep their price points low. He just wanted me to come on, not as a sales rep, really. What I'm doing is just kind of networking with facilities and patients and like you guys programs. And, so it's kind of fun. Support group.
That's awesome.
That is super awesome.
Yeah. What a vote of confidence that he had in you to be like, you know what? I'm going to create this special spot just for you. Like that must have been amazing feeling.
Yeah. He knew they had an asset on his hands. So
Yeah.
he's like, let's use her.
Yeah.
So
Well, I feel like you kind of know, like you get a feeling of like, this is the direction that we need to go. So, and it sounds like everything kind of pushed you in this direction to go with Procare.
I think so. And I've worked for I've done I don't know if you guys have ever done any kind of what is it called? Like marketing companies where you sell products like skincare or something like that. I've done a lot of that
Okay.
in the past. And there was one company that I worked for that did a lot of personal development, because it's always been my and I haven't even talked about this, but one of my loves in life is personal development. And so whenever this kind of came about, like that's what Nick wants to create. Like he wants to create resources for people to grow them.
Yeah.
And because you can buy vitamins anywhere, but to have extra resources to help grow the person along with that, it kind of gives, it's just an extra added little value. So if you can add value in other ways just besides the actual products,
That's really
that's what
cool. But
that's
he's
what it
just like,
is.
I want to help people be the best that
Yeah.
they can.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I feel like that's all like that describes bariatric, the community, is that we all just wanted to be the best
Yeah.
that we can possibly be. And we're constantly growing and evolving and trying to find that happiness and that happy spot. And so I think it's really cool that he's like, let's give these people a resource to go to
Yeah. Because we
and kind
need
of
our
make
vitamins.
that. Yeah.
Like we need something that isn't like I have to take 10 vitamins just to get all my stuff in a day. Like I
Yeah.
just want to take
Think about it
one.
too. Yeah. Surgery is such a small part of it. Like it
Mhm.
really is. Like surgery, it helps change your body. But if you go back to making the same type of choices and doing the same behaviors, the same patterns,
Yes.
you're going to end up back how you were. So it's
Mhm.
like being able to change all that, and how it helps Procare in the long run is if people, if they stay motivated and stay on track,
Mhm.
they're going to take their vitamins, they're going to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Um, so it kind of just works out, both ways.
And I have to say, like, so we got our Procare box.
Yeah.
We were so excited.
You guys were so cool.
Yes. We were so like
Because there was
blessed by everything that was in
yeah,
there.
there was 2 of everything. So that way we each got something.
Yes.
And I really like that. Because normally like we like the fact that people send us stuff, but sometimes they forget this is a 2-person
Yeah.
show. And so like we're sharing stuff
What'd
all
you
the
guys
time.
get? Did you do like an unraveling or anything like
We
that?
did.
So we did an unboxing, which I believe is up on, it's
The
up
one you
on our
dropped.
Instagram and Facebook right now. So you can go over and watch it.
Because we tagged Procare.
We did tag Procare. And I have to say, so we got the dark chocolate calcium. I'm obsessed. Like the easiest way to get your calcium in, because it tastes just like a freaking dark chocolate candy bar.
Yeah.
I was like, what magic is this that this is good for me? Like,
Oh, good.
and I'm starting on, what was that?
Ahead. No, go ahead. Tell me.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm finishing up my multivitamins that I already have right now. And then my husband does my pills. So long story short, I have lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and fibromyalgia. So I take a lot of pills every single day. And my husband, his way of helping cope with himself, like with me being sick, was he's the one that does my pills. So I always joke with my doctors that if he was poisoning me, I would have no idea.
Oh, it's true. Like if you come up dead for some reason, I'm going straight to Cody.
Oh yeah, because he does my pills.
Love you, Cody.
Yeah, he would never, but I would hope not. So he's gonna start putting in the Procare ones. So I'm super excited because I guess I didn't realize that we need like extra vitamins.
We can't absorb the same, right? Is that the main
No,
thing?
absorption is with RNY.
Okay.
So I think our absorption is, are we right on that, Brenda?
Yeah.
Some places you'll see that a sleeve gastrectomy is considered non-absorptive, and some that it's not, but there is I believe that there's a little reduction in absorption because part of your stomach's removed. So some of the other processes like the duodenal switch or the gastric bypass, you're actually altering the intestinal tract too. So there's even more non-absorption, but I think you still have some absorption issues because part of your stomach's removed and some of your vitamins and minerals are, absorbed through that. So
Okay.
that's part of the reason why it is important to still take vitamins, even with sleeve gastrectomy.
Okay.
So since
And you're eating less too. You're not.
Yes, you're not getting as many vitamins.
Yeah,
and
so you have to get the
minerals and-
multi in.
Yeah.
So since you brought it up, that third surgery, because we know a lot about the gastric bypass and we know about the sleeve because we've had it, but you called it the
Duodenal switch.
the duodenal switch.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that exactly? Like I know, like me and Kelly looked it up a little bit, but I want to know.
What do you know about that?
Yeah.
We're gonna pick your brain.
Yeah. So the other person from Procare that you guys are going to be interviewing, her name is Janine Sherman.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
She's for the duodenal switch. So what it
Ooh.
is it is a sleeve and a bypass combined, kind of. That's the best way I can explain it. So what they do is they do a sleeve gastrectomy. Sometimes they'll use a little bit bigger, they call them Bogie, which is a tube that helps them shape this type of the stomach. So
Okay.
the stomach may not be quite as small. Some people though will actually have a sleeve gastrectomy, and then months later we'll go in and have a duodenal switch, which is just basically a bypassing at the bottom of the sleeve gastrectomy, like at the bottom part of the stomach. Wish I have a little piece of paper. So,
Yeah. I'm excited.
I can find a pen. Wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, because we have
Anyway,
some-
so you have,
here we go.
that's not
Oh.
very dark.
You have to get really
See that
close,
at all?
right?
Yeah. Oh, I see it. Okay, that's the stomach.
So see this line right there, like
Okay.
that line that goes from here.
Okay,
So
yeah,
this
yeah.
is like a normal, this part would be removed, that
Mhm.
part's off. And then this would be your normal with a sleeve gastrectomy, just a smaller stomach.
Okay, so for our listeners, what she's showing is like the top and bottom of the stomach.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
there's a line in the
at the
middle
top.
where our normal, like where the
It
stomach
goes
would be
through, and then this
removed.
part would be removed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Completely taken off. So with the duodenal switch, what they do is they take part of the intestine up and right in, I think it's right in through here somewhere. I've never seen one done in surgery, but they bypass part of the small intestines up, which is kind of
wow.
different from a gastric bypass, because with a bypass, it's like they just make the stomach up here smaller and then bypass up here.
So they're bypassing the bottom of the sleeve.
So it's
And-
like if a sleeve and a RY had a baby.
100%.
That would be it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so with a duodenal switch, comparison wise from a bypass and a sleeve, you're going to have a lot less absorption than you do with either of those surgeries. So those patients, they have usually more weight loss, but they have to be a lot more careful with vitamin deficiencies because of the absorption issues. So a lot more, they need to eat more protein in their diet. They need to have more vitamins, and especially the fat soluble vitamins. So there's a couple little differences, nuances, and weight loss is, they usually don't have as much problem with dumping syndrome, which is pretty interesting because the way that the food is absorbed and all of that. But anyways, I'm
That's
kind of
interesting.
into more than you probably want to know.
No, we wanna know all
we
the
want to know all the things.
Yeah.
Like literally all the things. This is a subject that we both like. We could talk about this all day, every day, and we pretty much do. That's why we do this.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, like one of the lives, they were like Melanie and her science, because like I love science. I love learning about it. Like the body is so interesting to me. 'Cause-
I find the surgery so fascinating.
Yeah.
Like I want to know what's being done.
Mhm.
Like, because I'm not squeamish. It
No,
doesn't
not at all.
bother me.
Go into surgery. You need to, once this COVID thing gets out of, you need to talk to a surgeon. Most surgeons
Oh.
love to have people in there.
I bet our surgeons
my
would
surgeon
totally
did.
let us in.
Oh my God.
Write
That
that
is
down.
the most amazing idea. We're totally going to do a podcast episode from surgery.
Seriously.
And I don't know if they'll let you bring cameras in, to be totally honest, because of privacy issues, but they definitely would probably let you watch one just so that you would have a good understanding of it.
Yeah, I want to like, cause I know you get it done on yourself. So like, obviously we have a knowledge of what's being done,
Yeah.
but to actually, and you can like see it on like, TLC with the 600-pound life and stuff like that. You can kind of see what they're doing, but to actually be in the room
Yeah.
would be amazing.
Seriously.
So
Because
cool.
we've never been squeamish
No,
at all.
no.
And when I was a kid, my first thing I ever wanted to be was an obstetrician. I wanted to be a baby doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
I don't know. I actually didn't switch it until senior year when I realized that like I could not afford that kind of schooling. I was like, yep, that's not gonna happen.
So me and Melanie have known each other for like 20 years.
Yep.
Really?
So yeah. So there's certain things that like
Surprise you?
yeah, like we
Yeah.
still learn.
Yeah, that's
learn new
why
stuff.
me and Steph were in honors chem and we took anatomy and physiology.
Oh
and
yeah, I didn't really go to school.
That's true. We like made her go.
Yes,
Like,
I
we were
hated school.
pulling her into school, being like, get your ass in here.
Yes, I was. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So yeah,
School's not for everybody.
Nope,
that's the
definitely not me.
reason- and that's the reason why I took those classes, because I thought it was fascinating, because I'm like, our bodies are crazy.
It definitely is. And now that we've been through the surgery and like there's so much knowledge out there that we don't know, which is, I mean, that's why we do this podcast, because we want to learn all of the things that have to do with weight loss surgery. Like it's so, it to use your word, it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I could just,
Don't worry, I didn't coin it.
thanks. I appreciate that.
I do have a question, because you said something about fat soluble vitamins. Can you
Uh-huh.
elaborate more on what that actually means?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with our body needs all different kinds of vitamins. So there's some of the vitamins are termed fat soluble, which is like vitamins A, D, E, K.
Okay.
And so most vitamins, if you get too many of them, your body just excretes them. You just pee them out.
Okay.
But fat soluble vitamins, you can actually, they're absorbed through the fat, and you can actually get too much of them. So those are monitored a little differently. And with the duodenal switch surgery, because the way your body absorbs vitamins, there's risk. There's some of those need to be extra. Like you need to take extra.
Gotcha.
So I think it's vitamin K and D. And I have to, now I'm thinking back. But there's several of them that it's recommended that you take more of the fat soluble vitamins. So each
Okay.
program's a little different on what they recommend, but I'm just talking about what that same little ASMBS guidelines, what they recommend.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was wondering, does fat soluble means that we need to take it with food? Is that a thing, or no?
I think it's just how it's
basically
absorbed.
how they're absorbed.
Okay, so it's absorbed in your fat. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, that makes more sense.
And then is that something that as bariatric patients, any bariatric patient should be conscious of? Should we be focusing on fat soluble vitamins? What are your thoughts?
I think if you had the gastric bypass or the sleeve gastrectomy, just take what your program recommends. Though with the
Okay.
duodenal switch, there's probably additional recommendations. That's the basic things. As far as measurements wise, a lot of doctors will do pre-op labs before you have
Mhm.
surgery for a
Right.
baseline. And
Mhm.
then throughout that first year, most programs will measure your blood work at several intervals. Every program's a little different on how they do that. Some will do it every 3 months. Some will do it at 6 months, at a year. Some will, it depends on your health level too. But the fat soluble vitamins are measured during a lot of those lab points, and
Got it.
say maybe all of them, but there's a lot of them that are measured during that period, just like the other ones. I mean, most people will have a profile that'll include Your B vitamins, B6, B12, zinc, copper, magnesium, your regular electrolyte levels, you're making sure your CBC, which is your blood, your red blood cells and that type of thing that are all staying so you're not anemic, your
Okay.
iron levels. So there's a whole profile and they kind of check all that stuff. Most doctors' offices and that's why it's so important to follow up, to kind of check in and make sure that
Keep doing
your
your
lab
checkups.
levels. And it's so easy not to do it, especially people who don't have insurance and stuff like that. Sometimes that's kind of a hard thing for them. But we have a LabCorp in our area, and I mean, it's pretty cheap to get all of those levels. I mean, some hospitals will charge $1,000 for all those labs, and then other
Oh,
places, like LabCorp, I think I only paid $100 maybe out of
Okay,
pocket
that's-
with the insurance. So,
okay.
so it is doable. Like depending on where you go, if you have problems with the place that you're getting your labs done at, you just have to check around for cheaper prices.
Okay. And I mean, especially for people that had surgery done in Mexico, I mean, that's another level of, because we talk a lot about like going to Mexico and getting your surgery, but the aftercare is kind of stunted
Yeah, it's like
because
it's
obviously,
non-existent
yeah,
almost.
you can't, I mean, you're not going to get aftercare from someplace that you're,
Not even
not
near.
living.
Yeah, it's super important to get it in the community you're in. So
Yes.
finding those lab places, knowing what to do. and-
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people go to Mexico because they don't have insurance or it's going to be too
Yeah.
expensive through insurance. And so knowing that there are other avenues for getting those blood panels and making sure that you are healthy and are taking all your vitamins in the correct way, that's really important for everybody.
Yeah,
To know.
100%. So thank you for letting us know. Do you think they
Yeah.
have that like probably in every state? Like they can probably find a place.
Yeah. Like, well, you have to have a doctor's order, usually most places, to get the labs done. So what I would say is if somebody has their surgery done in Mexico, or because you guys probably have followers from all over, I would just say if somebody gets their surgery done in like a place that doesn't, or maybe they close like our program,
Yeah.
you can always find another program to follow up with. Most surgeons will take follow-up patients. So even if we had tons of people that came to us from other places, that had surgery done at a different facility or another state or a place that doesn't do real good follow-up.
Mhm.
You can also go to your primary care. That's not a bad
Okay.
option either, especially specialist. I can say bariatric surgeons can be expensive and some insurances cover certain things and some don't. So instead of not getting them done, go to primary care and talk to them. They can always call a bariatric surgeon office and ask what labs need to be measured too, if they're not sure,
Okay.
I mean, it's
That's
out of
awesome.
their, sometimes it's a little bit out of their comfort zone to do those kind of measurements. I shouldn't say that. That's probably not true, but I would say they may not know 100% what needs to be looked at,
Okay.
and they can always consult and ask questions, or they can have the patients reach out to their programs. Like we had patients that didn't want to have to come back for their labs because of the cost, because of seeing a specialist, because bariatric surgeon is a specialist. So they would write down all the names of all the blood tests that we would recommend, and then they'd go to their primary care and have them done.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because I actually thought about that before. I was like, I wonder just
If
because
it's cheaper.
if it's cheaper to just have my PCP do it. So, because
And surgery programs, they're going to want you to follow up. And the reason being is not only just because they love you,
Yes.
some friends, because you get to know each other and that type of thing. But also that same company, the ASMBS, they want programs to follow up for at least 5 years. So they'll be calling and checking on you. And that's part of their job if they're wanting to stay certified in bariatric care, to make sure that you're getting the follow-up you need. So it's not, they care about you, but they also, there's certain guidelines that if you have a really good program that they should be doing to make sure that you're getting what you need.
That's awesome.
that's super cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's guidelines obviously for bariatric surgery centers, but I guess I just didn't realize that there was one like specific just for bariatric.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
I do have a question where when it comes to bariatric vitamins,
Mhm.
no one can just slap a bariatric like symbol on it and try to sell it, right? And I only ask
That's
that
a good
because I know
question.
some of our
So,
followers will be nervous, like when they buy vitamins, like what do I pick?
Mhm.
yeah. So bariatric, they bariatric vitamins, I would say in general, follow those guidelines that I was talking about. I
Right.
would say probably most of them. Now you're going to have some that they don't necessarily like our vitamins are third party tested, which means another company outside Procare tests them. I don't know that there's any other companies that do that. There may be bariatric
Okay.
surgery. So there's not probably the same regulation as there is with some of the like FDA, like some of the Federal Drug Administration type of regulations and things like that. But if you're taking a bariatric vitamin, likely they're following those guidelines. So there's going to be a certain percentage amount that they're going to have in those. And that's why
Okay.
you don't really see too many bariatric vitamins over the counter.
No, you don't.
No.
Mm-mm.
You almost have to go specifically, like they're formulated specifically for, like I said, bariatric surgery patients because they're higher levels of vitamins in the formulation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, that's
I,
what I was hoping for. It's just like
yes.
I know with like with those one a days, there's so many different brands you can choose.
Mhm.
And it's always a question now, like now that we're learning that there's a lot of stuff in our things that we didn't realize that was in our, food and vitamins and stuff. You're like, wait, is this really gonna work?
Yeah. Is
Has this
this
been
something that they could just slap, like say, like, oh, this is really good for you? Like,
yeah,
and
like
so people can buy it and there's no like
repercussions really it feels like.
repercussions. Yeah.
And so one thing just to kind of bring up here too is I know there's a lot of products out there. For example, the patches. I don't know if you guys have heard of patches before. There's
Mhm.
bariatric surgery vitamin patches, and test wise clinical studies and that type of thing. I'm not sure that what's been done on those. So I would just say, if some of our patients would try that kind of stuff. The surgeons didn't really recommend those kind of things just because they weren't sure about the efficiency of them. But patients try them, and that's why if you go get your labs done, if they're working for you. If your labs are out of whack and they're not, your levels aren't good, then you need to change something up. So
Mhm.
that's what I would say on things like your vitamin levels. If you try something and it's working for you, great. If you try something and it's not working for you, then maybe there should be something, then you could shake it up or try something different.
Try something new.
Yeah.
I think a lot, like even with, gaining all the weight and being from a bigger family, a lot of people just think like, oh, well, this should just work. Like no one ever like tries to change it or realize that it's not
Mhm.
working. So like, because they're not going to get their labs, they're not actually doing the work to realize. They're just like, I'll just keep taking this. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm afraid of with all of our other listeners and followers. It's like, no, listen to your body.
Mhm.
And it's so like when it comes to vitamins, we still need to listen to your body. Is it
I was
working? Is
just
it
going to
not
say
working?
that.
Yeah.
Like, listen to your body.
I got you.
I know. Like, I feel like with bariatric surgery, you get kind of fine tuned into what your body needs, such as water, protein. Like you start to realize the things that you need,
Yeah.
to have a level of,
For me, it's energy and clarity.
yes.
Yeah.
And so I feel like with vitamins too, that needs to be a part of it. Like, listen to your body. Do you feel better? Do you not feel better? Does a certain vitamin help you? And then
Yeah.
also doing your blood work
Well,
is
kind
the
of
big
like
one.
with the B12.
Yes.
So before every podcast, we take our B12s because right in the beginning of us taking our dissolvable B12, we get the energy immediately
Mhm.
and we feel great. And we need that dose anyway for the day. So we're like, hey,
Mhm.
we'll just take it before we record.
Yeah. So I have to have my coffee and I have to have a B12. That is what we've decided is like the ultimate
Yeah, and it works.
package
And
for me.
we would have never have known if our doctors weren't like, listen to your body
Mhm.
when you eat something, when you take vitamins.
Mhm.
What are you drinking? Because me and Kelly knows I talk about all the time that there's such a huge disconnect between what you put in your body and how you feel.
Mhm.
People don't want to listen, like the fact that you're physically hurting yourself I think is the problem. And so they don't want to admit that they're hurting themselves because this really does affect you. Like this.
Well, I know from personal experience with the sugar.
Yeah.
I was feeding my body so much sugar, and the sugar was feeding my autoimmune diseases. And therefore I felt like crap 24/7.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I took that sugar out of the equation, or the added sugar, I should say, I wasn't having cookies and ice cream and all of these things that fed my autoimmune. I felt immediately better.
Yeah. So there's a straight connection.
There 100% is. Yeah. And I always knew that sugar was bad
but you didn't really
for autoimmune, but it didn't click until after.
Yeah. Until you actually remove it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I have another question for her.
Okay.
So when it comes to the vitamins, because I want to talk a little bit more about Procare.
You and your freaking vitamins.
Because is that the only thing that Procare offers is just vitamins? Is that their specialty? Or is there anything else that they're doing?
Vitamins, they have the multivitamins, and then they have calcium supplements.
Mm-hmm.
But you tried the dark chocolate, but they also have 3 soft chews of other flavors. Sea salted caramel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys got any of these.
We did. We got salted caramel, cinnamon roll.
Mint.
Yeah, I have not tried the mint ones yet.
You did?
I did not try the mint ones. It's on my list.
The thing I like about the calcium supplements, all of their calcium is made with something called True Cal, which is it's derived from real milk products. It's kind of like they take the milk and get down to the calcium and then all the other minerals that are left in the calcium. So it's a really smooth calcium that tastes really good. It doesn't leave an aftertaste. That's one of my favorite things about it. And then they have protein shakes. They have I don't know why mine's going back blank. They have
it's late. You're fine.
The stuff that's good for your skin, collagen. They have
collagen.
There we go.
Liquicell, that's a protein and it has collagen in it. It's like
yes.
Did you guys get to try any of that?
We have
got some, right?
Yes, we have 2 packs of all the flavors. And so we're going to do a live where we try those, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be fun.
They're really good. So you can mix those with something like you can mix them with a little bit of liquid, like a flavor of some sort, or you can just drink them straight. I like them straight, but most people don't.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I like things straight. I don't like really mixing stuff.
Too. So well, it's like I've been taking taking greens in the morning, and I absolutely love it. But it does, like, it has a very earthy taste. So I would much rather like swirl it in some water and just chug the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, not chug, but just shoot the whole thing versus try to like sip on it all throughout the day. I feel like I'm better that way. I don't know.
No, it's so much easier. It's over and done with.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's good. So they have several different items. And then do you take any of them?
My favorite is, so they have a multivitamin that has probiotics in it.
Okay. That was we got some of that. I'm super excited for that.
They say that probiotics are good for your gut health, which means kind of like anything compared like constipation, bloating, anything like that. And they're supposed to be really good with your digestion. I really don't know that I struggled too much with any kind of digestive issues like that, but I just like them. Instead of taking 1 a day, you take 2 a day of those though.
Oh, okay.
And then I like that. I like this sea salted caramel are my favorite. The dark chocolate, we did not carry them over the summer months because of the heat, but those are one of my favorites. And one of my favorite things to do is to take one of the dark chocolate and like dip it in peanut butter and eat it as an afternoon snack.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. That's a really good idea. We love our peanut butter. Yeah. So that's a really good idea.
And it doesn't take very much. Like you can just have like a tablespoon of peanut butter. And then, it's like a whole dessert in itself, really with that.
Oh, I would definitely
Get down.
I'm
to
going to
that.
try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have
I
to.
might do that tonight.
There you go. You get your vitamins in together. So
Yeah, exactly. I really did like the cinnamon roll. I tried the cinnamon roll calcium chew. That was, I mean, the smell, like I had opened up the bags because we were splitting them up. And I remember like smelling that, like instantly it just hits you, that scent of cinnamon roll. And I was like, Melanie, you have to smell these. Like these smell amazing. And so do the caramel ones. Those ones smell bomb.
Do you happen to know why we always have to take a calcium separately than a multivitamin? And that might be
It has to do with the iron, like calcium and iron. The absorption is decreased whenever you take them together. They say, like some companies like Fusion, they have a product where their multivitamin is mixed with their calcium. So I think that they say that there's clinical studies that don't show that, but I think there's a lot of belief in mixing them can decrease your absorption of iron. So that's why.
Because I noticed that like even I like to just take the pills and get them over with. So I'm not a big chewy person. That's why she has pretty much all of them.
Yes.
I just wanted to try them.
Yes, I understand.
But yeah, I'd rather just get it over with. But yeah, my calcium's still separate from everything.
So you need to start taking calcium chews.
No, I have a calcium every morning.
Oh, you're saying, okay.
Yeah, I just take it separate from my multivitamin.
Got it.
It's because they can't put it together.
Yeah, I was lost for a second, but I caught up. I'm here.
Because my multivitamin I take with food, so I have to wait till afternoon to take it. So
yeah, because she doesn't eat in the morning.
Yeah, I do the intermittent fasting. I've done that for a long time. I just like it now. Your body just does it.
Yeah.
When people are like, it's so hard, I'm like, girlfriend, get over yourself. Like you just got to do it. It's just like any other thing. You just do it for a couple of weeks and it's fine. And then your body just doesn't want to eat and naturally doesn't get hungry.
I like to have a protein shake in the morning. I don't want to eat solid foods. I just need that protein shake and then I'm fine.
What I noticed is that I don't want food at all in the morning. I just want to I need to get up gradually, have my water, have some tea, brush my teeth, take a shower, and then an hour later eat. But most people eat right away. And I'm just like, how do you do that? I don't even crave food that early.
Nope, I can't do it. How about you, Brenda?
I usually like to eat breakfast. I usually have an egg, maybe toast with it. I usually like having some kind of protein. And then I've kind of have this thing about eating at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock too. I like my little in-betweens, just a couple bites of something. I don't know why that is, but maybe it's because I train myself that way.
You trained yourself.
Yeah. You're like, this is my system. This is my routine.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
We love routines.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, is there anything else that maybe we didn't touch on that you want to add about Procare or yourself or anything you can think of?
Not really. Oh, I did want to tell you too. So I was telling you about the nursing part and the bariatric surgery part. But part of what I absolutely love is holistic health.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know if either of you guys are into any of that. It sounds like that. Well, if you're doing the greens and things like that, I think that's kind of in that category.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, be as natural as possible, really.
We definitely, I mean, I take so many meds on a daily basis that if I can help myself by doing something a little bit less, what's the word I'm looking for?
Chemical based?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So that's another part of who I am. So I'm certified in something called Healing Touch, which is through Healing Beyond Borders, and practice that. And then also the life coaching, which is just kind of something I kind of came into because I was interested in learning more about how to empower people. With nursing and the medical field, it's a lot about doing to people. So you're giving people medicine, you're supporting them, but I always thought it would be fun to teach people. So that's
awesome.
Yeah. I want to know more about the first thing, the holistic. What do you do?
Yeah, the energy work. Have you ever heard of energy work before?
No.
Yeah. So your body. So basically, it's made up on the premise that I'm trying to think of some other practices that are energy work that you may have heard of. Chiropractics incorporate sometimes some energy work in. Reiki, healing touch is one of them. Acupuncture, acupressure.
Yeah.
They all work on the energy system, which is like a system just like cardiovascular or respiratory or musculoskeletal. So it's an organized system in some ways, and it has, they call them chakras and meridians and all of this, but it's like an energy system, but you can use that energy system to like literally, it works on all levels, the emotional level, the mental level, the spiritual level, the physical level. And to me, it's what gets down to the root of whatever is causing something, because when our bodies are 100% energy, everything is energy. And so you can affect that energy on different levels. So it just kind of, with working in the, like I said, in the emergency department, I thought, you know what, I gotta learn more about what can help people, what causes them to be sick, what causes them to heal, as opposed to just medicine. So, I found it really interesting.
So massage would be in there.
Sort of. Sometimes massage therapists use energy therapy with their massages.
Okay.
What would that look
part
like?
of that with their training.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them use it, but to me, it's a lot of intention, a lot of, you can use meditation practices with it. It's a little abstract to explain, but
well, because you're changing the dynamic from physical to like, you can't really see it,
energy,
but you can feel it.
Energy based.
Yeah, that's what energy, like, that's how I would describe it to someone, is like, it's a feeling more than like a touch, right? That yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Sure
I like it. I like it.
So you help people, like you do this onto people, or like what is your role with this?
That I learned through Healing Beyond Borders were mostly working with Healing Touch. You kind of work right off the body. You just use your hands and your own body's energy, I guess, kind of to help with balancing that person's energy system. But there's tons of other techniques. Energy is in everything. So foods,
food gets
essential oils, sound therapy, music therapy, color therapy. I know a lot about that. Just any of those things have vibration and frequency. So you can tweak a person's energy system by changing the frequency of the cells, basically.
Wow.
That makes sense. Because I've always been a firm believer, like, about like how you wake up can really change your whole day. Like if you get a frantic call, it's going to be probably really hard for you to be chill
for the rest of the
day. Like you have to actually physically work on it. But I notice if I like have like a nice, like, the sun's coming up, no one's trying to get a hold of me. I can just like think and be clear for like a first 30 minutes. I have a great day. Very chill.
I like it.
Yeah. Cause it's like calming.
See, and when you're talking about that, I was doing yoga for a while, and then I got sick and went into a flare and all of that. But like the way you're talking makes me miss.
Yep. Me too.
That you had the same feeling. It makes us miss that intention of like waking up, doing our yoga, centering ourselves, and then like moving on with the day.
Yeah, like it just kind of puts you in to me, it's all about alignment with that part of yourself that's that state of peace. I call it 0 point. It's like a point of nothingness,
0 point. I like that.
How would you encourage someone to get to that point? Like what could they do?
Easiest way is just focusing on your breath and just letting go. Meditation is a huge way. Anything that relaxes you, petting your dog, just being that, anything that just brings you back to a space of not necessarily even just happiness or peace, but it just brings you back to
like a calm level.
Yeah. And like no TV, no nothing, just focusing on your breath and just being with yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember when you went into Harry Potter and you were like, you said it was like stimulus overload.
Oh yeah. So I went to Universal Studios and Disney World
Uh-huh.
when I got back a week ago.
Yeah, about that.
And it,
Fun.
it was so much fun, but it was like, it definitely was like overload, sensory overload,
Yeah.
because there's music, there's lights, there's sound, there's color, like and there's stuff everywhere. And so I was telling Melanie, like, I needed to like take a second and like, like close my eyes, because it was so overwhelming
Yeah.
sometimes.
And that's what she's talking about, how to just be calm and still. And
Yeah.
just be like
Just,
you.
yeah. Just focusing on yourself with yourself. I really like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to doing yoga in the morning.
And honestly, like if you want to accelerate your weight loss, if you want to accelerate your anything in life, your health, to me, any kind of disease process is just related to some kind of resistance. So just kind of
I like that.
Yeah, just
That's actually how I sleep at night, where because you know, we all get like, it's running through your brain, like what I did today, what I didn't do today, what I should be doing today, what I said, what I didn't say. So like this girlfriend at work, I was like, I actually, once I get to sleep, I sleep really well. Just sometimes getting to sleep could be a little rough, but it's not too bad. I know, so because Kelly has insomnia, my husband has insomnia, so I don't ever try to complain about my sleep because they have it like tenfold of what I could imagine. But it's still a thing. And so my girlfriend was like, just deep breaths at night, just count your breaths. And she's so right. I think I get to like maybe 6 or 7, I'm asleep. Like it's really fast for me. It's crazy if you just like just start counting and just go slowly. Like your whole body just calms down. It's insane.
I was listening to something and they were saying that if you imagine that your body is filled with water and then you're letting the water go like a little bit at a time. So you're focusing on your entire body. And then it's kind of like a wave, like you let it all go and then you bring it all back in. And it's like that gentle slap of the wave.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings you, so